So let's go ahead and get this. We're gonna go ahead and get a slideshow up real quickly and start going through some things. We're gonna spend about 2 or 3 minutes doing just a quick recap, and then just gonna fly through those slides just for the people who are joining us for the first time, and then we will get into streams of income and talk a little bit about those and how those can be manipulated so that you guys can really start setting your mind on that. I'm also going to be showing you all a chart that I created, and it's kind of a dummy chart. The one I have, I don't have my real. I'm not going to use my real chart because my real numbers on there. But I'm using a dummy chart and show you guys how to do this as well, so you can start setting up your different streams of income as well. It doesn't matter what you do on this line. Believe me when I tell you, I'm not going to ask you to stop doing anything you're doing. This is not a pitch to get you to do something with me. For those that know me, know I'm not really, on that at all. But I just want you guys to be able to have some wealth, have some success, and part of being an entrepreneur is having streams of income from different areas and being able to do things like travel across the country and be gone for a month at a time. Maybe take your grandkids or your kids, it depends on what age you are on this Zoom, and be able to do that and not worry about where your income is coming from. Be able to do that and money be made, and whatever it is, whatever business you're running, continue to run while you're gone, even if you have to maybe service a few things via internet or whatever the case may be. And that's part of the goal in changing your mindset and getting you in a different space. So I hope that works for you all here. If it does, just hit yes or yes. Oh, Miss Sharana, I thought you were already a co-host. What happened there? Hold on 1 second here. I am not sure what's going on, but I thought I did that a long time ago. Bear with me 1 second, guys. My co-host was not a co-host. Okay, you want now? Good. Really? Nancy, that's the only yes I get? That's how y'all gonna do it this evening? That's how we playing this evening? Nobody's participating? Don't make me talk to myself. Don't make me talk to myself on here. Ha ha, that's right. I see you, Miss Kern. There we go. There we go. Come on, y'all. Y'all know y'all gotta get excited. Y'all we gotta wake up here and get moving. So let me pull this slideshow up so we can be looking at some material. Again, for those, if this is your first time with us, you do not have to take screenshots of the slideshow, any of that stuff. The slideshow does come along with the training. This evening, you guys will get, no, excuse me, not this evening because it's gonna be too late. Tomorrow morning, you will get an email from the recorded training from 2 weeks ago. I told you guys it's taking me a little bit longer to edit them now because YouTube is starting to pay a little bit more attention to what I'm doing because I'm uploading so much stuff. So my editing is going through a little bit of a process. So part 1 is done and set up. The slideshow is set up. Everything is finished on part 1. So that will be going out tomorrow morning. And then I'm gonna try to get part 2 out by the end of this week. As well, just depends on how long it takes YouTube to approve my edits when I'm done editing everything. They have to make sure all the music is gone out of it so I don't get hit with copyright stuff and all that. So, that's just pretty much how it works. 1 second. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you all so that you guys are all on the same page here. All right, so real quickly, on to my story. Of course, you guys know I'm not gonna go over my whole story. I've done that a long time ago. So I'm gonna give you the short version. I've got like a long version, and then I got like a regular version, and then I have like a short version. So this is the short version. And the short version is, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I came down to Florida in 2005. And at that point, I came down here and I bought about 8 pieces of property as investment properties. And of course, the market crashed at that time. So between 2005 and 2008, when the market crashed, I lost 3 of my 8 properties. I also had one of my vehicles repossessed. The other vehicle, I kind of hid behind the other 5 houses until I could come up with the money to pay my car note. In the process of all of that, I had a friend of mine that talked to me about assisted living. So I turned my other 5 properties into assisted living and then started making money again. In the process of that, when I lost the money in the process of building up the assisted living, I had gotten to a point where I had gotten so ill that I literally had bleeding ulcers because of the stress from what I was dealing with financially. and lights being cut off and properties and just all kind of stuff was going on. So that's kind of, where I, kind of my low in my situation. And then I was able to build my business back up with my assisted living. And then at that point, I said to myself, you know what, I need to have more than one business. And what you'll realize as a part of what I'm going to talk about today is I hear people that mention recession-proof businesses all the time. I want to get into a recession-proof business. And I want you guys to know ahead of time, there are very few businesses that are recession-proof. There are some, but there are very few. So what recession-proof is going to mean for you here on this Zoom is going to be you having several streams of income, which means that if something happens and one of your streams of income take a hit, you have other streams of income that will still be paying you out. So that's what you can do to recession-proof your wealth or your lifestyle, is have income coming from several different industries. And I'll talk about a little bit about there are some recession-proof businesses, but it's hard to say that they're recession-proof because it depends on what hits. So when a depression hit, there were some recession-proof businesses. When a real estate crash hit, there were some recession-proof businesses. But guess what? When a pandemic hit us, some of those recession-proof businesses weren't recession-proof anymore. So it depends on what industry you're in, whether or not it's recession-proof when that specific pandemic hits. So you can't always know ahead of time that a specific industry is going to be recession-proof. That's why it's good to be in several different things at once. And I don't mean scrambling and running and what we call grinding and I'm chasing the bag and all day long I'm working from sun up to sundown. That's not what I mean by being a serial entrepreneur or somebody that has different streams of income. With different streams of income, we're talking about residual, we're talking about passive, we're talking about businesses that are paying you even though you're not opening the door at 8 o'clock in the morning and closing it at 5 o'clock. These should be businesses that you can run and streams of income that you can have for yourself, even when you're overseas. Even if you say, hey, I'm gonna go out of town for a week for my birthday, or it's my anniversary, and I'm gonna be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, you should still be able to create income and service those businesses from there. So that doesn't mean that you're just on the grind all day long. I get that mentality. I get that lifestyle. I promise you, I did the whole grind thing for years and years and years and years and years. So I get it and I understand it. I'm also the guy that used to say, hey, I'm asleep when I'm dead. I used to say things like, you may need 6 hours of sleep, but you may need 8 hours of sleep, but not me. I'm gonna grind it out and I'll catch up on my sleep on the weekend. I say those kind of things because when you're an entrepreneur, I promise you that's gonna be in your vocabulary at some point if you're a really true entrepreneur. But as you start to get older and as you start to get wiser, and I'll tell you now I'm 45 years old. When I got about 40 years old, let me tell you something. I started fluffing my pillows and going to bed. So your body can only take so much of that. Once you get yourself in a position where you kind of have a little bit more control of what's coming in and what's going out and how your businesses are running, what will happen is you will realize that sleep is an intricate part of you being successful. Sleep is an intricate part of you working in a mindset that is you working, I guess you could say, at your optimal level because you've gotten sleep. And if you're in the health at all, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to stay healthy, which we should all be trying to do, if you're eating healthy, if you're running or walking, I promise you, sleep is very important when it comes to weight loss. Sleep is very important when it comes to being healthy. So if your mindset is, I'm not going to get no sleep because I'm running, I get it, been there, done that. And I'm telling you that you're going to have to work that out of your system. I'm not going to tell you when to do that because your body will certainly tell you that. But at some point, you will stop doing that because it ends up being more of a hurt to you being successful than a gain. So I hope that's helpful to you all. So in the process of me building my assisted living, I did that, started making some more income. Instead of me letting that money sit in the bank, I opened up a tax office. I bought into a Janet King janitorial service. I also was a part owner in a nightclub. Most of what I owned, I had partners. I didn't own anything by myself. After I bought into that assisted living facility or created that assisted living facility, after that, every business I owned after that, I had partners. I was part owner in a transportation company for about 3 years with a guy out of Alabama. So I've done some different things with different people. Some I've sold my percentage in. Some of them I walked away because it was some other kind of disagreement or situation that happened. All things that you will learn at some point in the future. and some other training. I'm not gonna get into those things right now, but just understand I've done a lot of different things, and I've also had 9 to 5 before as well. Not had a lot of experience in a job, but I have had it before, and I'll tell you I don't like it. Not my lifestyle at all. But I know that some people have to have a 9 to 5, and I'll talk about that during this training as one of the streams of income. And a lot of times people don't talk about a job being a stream of income, because a lot of times entrepreneurs are very headstrong on believing that having a 9 to 5 is just a cardinal sin. And I don't believe in that. I believe that a 9 to 5 can fund your dreams. A 9 to 5 can be foundational. And some people really love what they do. So it can be a strong set of income if you really love what you do. Now, if you hate your job, if you hate your boss, if you hate that environment, then yeah, you should maybe get out of that situation. But if you're okay with it, then I would implore you to keep that if you're happy with that job, and use it as one of your streams of income. So currently, I'm a 6-figure marketer. I'm in network marketing. I'm a 6-figure income earner in a network marketing company, that company being Legal Shield. I also have a training company as well. I do a lot of mindset training, and I need to change that now. I can now consider myself an international trainer, because I just picked up some clients in the UK, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, just kind of growing and moving, and really enjoying what I do here with my business. So moving on, what will we be talking about today on our entrepreneurial education? A little bit of recap of 1 and 2. How and why on streams of income, creating value for your team. Don't know how much creating value for your team I'm gonna get to today, because streams of income is pretty long, and I want you guys to not just hear, oh, these are streams of income, but examples of what they are, examples of ways that you can do that and not disrupt your lifestyle. I don't want you to move away from spending time with your family and whatever it is you do now. I've got fitness trainers on this Zoom right now. I've got realtors on this Zoom right now. I've got network marketers on this Zoom right now. I've got some of my business partners in Legal Shield on this Zoom right now. And by no means do I want you to stop doing any of those things that you do. I want you to add to, so that you can add to your wealth, so that you can really leave a legacy for your family and not just pay the bills. You know, I want you to leave more than heirlooms to the people that you care about. And that's why I do what I do with my clients as I work with them. So in the first part, we went over just understanding what value was, the regard that something is held to deserve, worth or usefulness of something, a person's principle or standards of behavior. We talked about those things. We talked about what worth is as well. So it's going to be sufficiently good, important, or interestingly to justify a specified action, deserving to be treated or regarded in the way specified. Also, the amount, having income or property amounting to a specific sum, and it also means high value or merit as well. So we talked about calculating your value or worth in part 1, which was how much are you worth per hour, how much are you worth per day. In your education, we talked a little bit about whether or not you are the one benefiting from your degree, or whether the people you work for are benefiting from your degree. And that's a really serious question that you have to ask yourself, because if you've gone to school and you got a 6-figure loan debt that you're paying off for your school, I don't care if it's $50,000. I don't care if you went to a community college. I don't care. If you got a degree hanging on the wall, the question I would ask you to ask yourself is the company you're working for making more money off that degree than you're making? Because if they are, you need to change some things about what's happening with you, because there's no way that you should be paying a loan for an education that you're proud of with a degree hanging on the wall, but the company that employs you is making more off of that degree than you're making off of that degree. If they are, then you need to look at something that you can do on the side with that degree to make up that money. And of course, you need to speak to an attorney about that to make sure that you don't have any non-disclosure agreements or any kind of compete clauses that you can't do that kind of thing on the side. Those are all legal things that you need to speak to your attorney about, or get an attorney to deal with those kind of situations. But you need to look at that. I gave an example last week or the week before last about a client that I work with who has a doctorate degree. And she does a lot of work for a major hospital. And she shows them where they're losing money at so that they can fill those holes. And they hire people to fix the problems that she finds. And it saves the hospital millions of dollars a year. But they pay her $80,000 a year. She's saving the millions, and they're paying her $80,000. So what I'm working with her now to do is to build a consulting company on the side where she can do what she does for several hospitals. And now she can make several hundred thousands of dollars instead of saving hospitals millions of dollars and her walking away with less than a six-figure income annually. Because we don't want to do that. It takes a lot of income to get to a doctorate. You know, she's paying a lot of student loans when she has a doctorate at 41 years old. So we don't want you to be in a position where you're paying all of this student loan debt and not really living the lifestyle that you should live. So we talked a little bit about that as well. And you'll see that on the recording as you get those emailed to you with the slideshow as well. We calculated the value for realtors and network marketers and fitness trainers and 9-to-5ers so that you would know where you were at. Because like we always say, you cannot increase or decrease what you do not track. So you got to know what you're worth right now if you want to increase that value. So we talked about calculating your value and your worth as well. And then we went into, are you an empty dreamer? And I told my story on how I got back motivated when I ran into that slump. And we talked about how you've got to start dreaming again and creating value for yourself, even if that means that you have to include your family in those conversations. If you have to increase your personal development or change your circle of influence so that you can start back dreaming again. Because until you start dreaming again, you're not going to get to that wealth level. And a lot of times we get knocked off that horse right about our mid-20s. We get knocked off. Sometimes it's marriage and kids, and sometimes it's maybe a bankruptcy you had to file because you ran. You know, sometimes you make a lot of money early in life and you spend it incorrectly because you're not really knowledgeable on how to handle finances, and you run into some issues. You end up with some bad credit and filing bankruptcies, and you lose track of your dreams. And then you get back on track, and you're just kind of living at that point. And we want you to kind of just live. So that's why we talked about being an empty dreamer and how you can fix those things as well. Then we went into value definitely attracts wealth, and we talked about why and how you are valuable. I did the exercise with the young lady, Miss Barbara Smith, asked her some questions and talked about how she felt valuable so that she could say that to herself. And as a matter of fact, Miss Barbara Smith, are you on the line right now? If you're on the line, unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself manually.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dunbar. Right. How are you?
Well, I told you had some homework, and we was going to check on that homework this week. So, did you have that conversation with yourself morning and night every day for the last 7 days?
I sure did.
Did it make you feel any better? You can certainly be 100% honest about it.
I did.
You do?
I did 100%.
Good. And it goes back to the training we did on neutral thinking and affirmations and all those different things. People don't understand. You have to get yourself in that mindset to win. And just that small exercise of you talking about telling yourself how valuable you are when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, that puts you in a different space. You wake up differently. You go to bed differently. You feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, I promise you, and anybody on this Zoom, I'm sure that you've had these situations in life. When you feel better about yourself, you're confident. You don't let people take advantage of you. You don't let people use you. You don't let the person you're dating or the person you're married to take advantage of you because you care so much about yourself. But if you don't tell yourself you're valuable, you won't feel that way. And that's what's important about that kind of exercise, because it's something really simple. How long did it take you to do that in the morning?
It just took no more than a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. And what about at night? Same amount of time?
About the same amount of time. It's shortening. Each day I do it, it gets shorter and shorter.
Gotcha. And see, that's a big deal, guys. And it's a big deal because when we're talking about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, let's say it took her 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes out the day to change the way you feel the entire day. Mm-hmm. And you will see once you create that confidence in yourself that you will, without a doubt, you will not let people get over on you. You won't let people say specific things to you because of how you value yourself. You start to feel different. So thank you for that, Miss Barbara. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be calling you about a testimonial on Monday Night Coaching Card.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
I'll be ready.
Absolutely. We talked about these books too as well by Mr. Brian Carruthers. We talked about attracting income and how all those things work. So we talked about a money mindset and making sure that you weren't repelling wealth and repelling money. And I did a quick exercise as well with Miss Melissa, just asking her specific questions like how she felt about money, how she felt about wealthy people, and all those different things. And why did I do that? I wanted to see what her answer was to things like value and wealth and income. And I said something to her like, let's go to the gym, and to see what her response was. Because if you don't convince yourself that that's where you need to be, then you won't be there. So we went into value, definitely attracting wealth, talking about your job and what happens if you just showed up and you didn't work. And we talked about the difference between having a salary and having a wage, and living in a time economy versus a value economy. And we want you to live in a value economy and see the value in yourself. So those are some things we talked about here. We talked about increasing your value and visualizing yourself as you want to be with a vision board, and creating small wins for yourself. All things that help you build your confidence, help you build your posture so that you can be a better person. And guess what? When you make yourself a better person, well, I'm telling you, your spouse, your kids, everybody around you, they see the difference. So what are we going to be going into today? What are you going to be worth? What are you going to be worth? Increasing value, right? We want to increase value for you here with this training. And we're going to do that by talking about some different streams of income. So wealth comes from multiple incomes. Always think of growth in new businesses to create new income streams, right? So let's look at some different income streams here. So how many and why? So here I've got 8 different income streams, and I detail all of them but royalty income here in this training, and you'll see as we go through them why I chose these incomes. And I guess for some people they'll say there's not really more than that, but you know, in this world today, the way things work, somebody will find another term for another one of these incomes, but most of them will run into those incomes. They may be just a different part of that kind of income, and we'll discuss that. As well as we're going through this. So let's look at earned income, which is your JOB. So I'm starting with that one because I told you guys, when we talk about a 9 to 5, right? As a 9 to 5, look, don't let anybody tell you to walk away from your job if your job serves its purpose. What I want you to do is change your mind, right? So I do mindset training, right? So how should you change your mind? Your 9 to 5 typically is using you. And when I say it's using you, what I mean is if I see Sue there. So if Sue has a 9 to 5 and she's good at her job and she has a degree that says she's qualified to do this thing that she does, if that company happens to find someone who can do that same job that she's doing for half the amount of money that they're paying her, and they can work at double her speed, what do you think is going to happen to Sue? Put in that chat box. What do you think is going to happen to Sue? Right? Sue Finney does a fantastic job, but they find somebody that's going to work for $30 an hour instead of $60, and they're going to work double the speed she is. There you go. Replace. And they might even ask Sue to train the person before they replace her, not letting her know that that's what they're about to do. Because that company is not really being a trader. They're not being disloyal to Sue Finney, but they're running a business. And a business model says one of the biggest expenses in a business model is going to be where you're operating from, and it's also going to be what you pay your employees. Payroll and your location normally is the 2 biggest expenses in most businesses. There are some exceptions in some other kind of businesses. So what we need to understand here is that they're only doing what their business model says they have to do. We've got somebody that can produce double the work at half the cost. Why, as a business owner, would you not replace Sue Finney? So we know that that's a situation that we can't control. But what we do know is you can work that job and have the same thing going on in your space. So what does that mean? That means that Daryl Stanley can be working at a job and be doing a great job at his job. He can love what he does, but he could also create 2 or 3 different streams of income And once he gets himself to where that company is paying him $6,000 a month to work there, and he gets his 7 streams of income or 2 or 3 streams of income up to $10,000 or $15,000 a month over the next 5 or 6 years, he can now walk away from that 9 to 5. Yes or yes? So what is he doing? There's a race going on here. Either you're going to be replaced, or you're going to replace that stream of income. So to me, earned income from your 9 to 5, if it's a job that you have, that is temporary unless you really love what you do and you know that that company is not going to let you go. If you got some kind of situation happening, like for the most part, right? Let's look at like a police officer, a firefighter. Unless for some reason politically they cut the funding to those different departments, a police officer is going to retire. They're not going to be fired because they found a better cop. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? So different trades, different industries aren't going to work that way. But for the most part, that's what's going to happen at a regular brick and mortar business that you may work for. So sometimes it won't happen, sometimes it will. But you should be looking at that plan B. So your job where you work at, whatever you do for 9 to 5, this can be considered your earned income. So here's a tip. This is your foundation, and you shouldn't walk away until you are secure with that income. You should not walk away. I've seen so many people in the network marketing industry walk away from another business they own, walk away from their job before they should have, and end up in a really bad situation. I'm one of them. I sold off a few of my businesses too early when I got into network marketing, and my income started fluctuating, and I ran into another bad financial time about 2 or 3 years into network marketing. And it was because I sold my other businesses off too quick. So you have to remember, you have to gauge that. So the general rule for me is, when you're making double what you make at your job in network marketing for at least 12 months, then you can look at walking away from your 9 to 5. So if your 9 to 5 is paying you $5,000 a month and you're making $10,000 a month for at least 12 months, and you know that it's not a fluke. So again, you got to be honest with yourself. You know if you made the $10,000 in a consistent manner or whether it was a fluke. If you got a big bonus for doing something that's not going to happen again, don't count that as consistent income, because you can't look at that as something that's going to continue to come if that bonus structure is not going to remain there. So you got to be honest with yourself when it comes to looking at those kind of things. So the first kind of income is going to be earned income, which is going to be your 9 to 5. Or it could be, say you own a landscaping company. If you own a landscaping company and you're cutting grass in your own landscaping company, guys, that's still earned income. When you're self-employed, that's still considered earned income. So I don't want to step on any toes, but look, I'm a transparent trainer and I'm here to help. At the end of the day, if you're self-employed, a lot of what you're doing is still considered earned income, because you need to be there for it to happen, and you're earning every dollar. So if I own a tax office and I'm doing taxes in that tax office every single day during tax season, that's earned income, even though I own a business. That's still going to be considered earned income. So let's look at profit income. So the money you make when you buy and sell things, right? So let's look at an example here. I buy products online at one price, maybe $25, and then I sell it to a customer base at a marked up price of maybe $39. The difference between the 39 and the 25 is 14 bucks. So if it took me $5 to make this whole deal happen from buying to selling, then my profit was actually $9. So let's say somebody's saying that they can't hear me. If you can hear me, well, let me know. Did I fade away on you guys? Somebody put in the chat that they couldn't hear me. Y'all can hear me? All right. All right, Mr. Shannon, you got to tighten up over there. You got to get you an iPhone, brother. I don't know what you're using over there, you know. I'm just messing with y'all. Don't be getting upset because I talk about y'all when y'all don't have an iPhone. So I'm not sure what's going on, Shannon, but everybody else seems to be able to hear me, so it might be on your end. So you see here the profit is $9. So if you were looking to make an extra $1,000 per month, you would have to market about 112 units of whatever it is that you market. And why do I say $1,000 a month? Because typically when I'm training people and I'm working with people that's looking to make extra income, I tell them, like in the beginning, let's look at making an extra $1,000 a month on different streams of income, so that you can easily calculate that. So if you're saying, hey, I want to get some profit income of $1,000 a month, I want to get some residual income of $1,000 a month, I want to get some capital gains of $1,000 a month, whatever it is, whatever kind of income that you're looking to get, let's start at looking, adding $1,000 a month. Because guys, again, don't take it too fast. Don't take it too fast. I'm a big believer in the process. Like you can't and don't believe in fly by night. Don't believe in get rich overnight. Every now and then something happens and somebody gets rich overnight. It happens every now and again. But when somebody's pitching you getting rich overnight, please go in the other direction. Because that is not how you build an empire. That is not how you create wealth. That is not how you become successful by doing it overnight. It takes some time to do it. And I would tell you that it's worth it when it's all, because again, you don't want to miss the lesson. The money without the lesson is not helpful. And if you can attest to that on a Zoom, then go to that chat and just say, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, when you make money fast, it may feel good that you have that money in your hand, but if you do not learn the lessons, if you do not understand money, and if your mentality is not stretching faster, right, or your personal development is not stretching faster than your income, you have a problem. So in that example, that will be profit income, which is one of the forms of income that you can have. So let's look at the next form of income here and how you can get that. So interest income will be the money you make based upon an interest rate you may be receiving through an institution or some other contract or agreement you may have. So an example. So I used to loan money to a guy he had his hands in a couple of different things. He had a couple of commercial nursing homes he was running. He also has a real estate a brokerage. His wife owns an insurance company. And what he would do is he would call me occasionally and he would borrow money from me. And he would pay it back on the interest. And that was always a good deal for me, because if my money's sitting in the bank, then I'm certainly not making a whole lot of interest on my money in the bank. So if you look at the tip on the bottom, it says banks probably aren't giving you the best bang for your buck as far as interest goes. So the bank is typically, and you guys probably know this, but banks are typically loaning your money out at a higher interest rate than they're even paying you. So they're basically making more money off your money. And me personally, I have a problem with that kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to make more money off of my college degree. You're not going to make more money off my money than I make off my money when I work for it in the first place, right? So when I used to loan the guy the money, so it would be 18 to 36 months. So he may call me and say, hey, look, I need $10,000. And I would give him the money, and he may give me back $13,000 on that $10,000 in 18 months. Or he may say, okay, look, if you give me the money for 2 years, I'll double your money. So I may give him 10 grand, and he may give me 20 grand back in 24 months. So for me, I'm not doing anything. Well, there's one thing to have passive income. Like, that's way past passive. I'm giving him the money, and I don't have anything to do with what he's doing. He's just giving me the money back. Now, make sure if you're doing something like that, somebody that you trust, obviously, and I'm not even suggesting that you do it. I'm just giving you that example of something that I did in the past where I was able to create interest income. And why was it interest income? Because he was giving me a specific interest on the money that I was giving him. He was using it in his businesses for whatever manner he needed to use it in. So I would give it to him. I would do an agreement with him and on paper. And I would have an attorney look at it. And remember to do those kind of things, guys. Make sure, no matter whether it's your friend, no matter whether it's your business partner, no matter whether it's family or not, I don't care if it's your ex, I don't care what you got going on. Have an attorney draw something up and make sure that it's an ironclad agreement. That's just business, guys. It's not personal. It's business. Always have somebody draw up a legal document, preferably an attorney, so that you can specifically make sure that your investment is covered legally and you're not worried about what's going to happen if you two fall out during this situation. Because I've seen that happen to people all the time. Somebody that they're involved with romantically, and you guys are doing, doing some things together, and then that goes bad, and then all of a sudden you ain't getting your money back on time no more because you're no longer involved with this person romantically. So just be careful with that. But that is a form of interest income, which is a form of a stream of income. So let's look at another stream, residual income. So that residual income is going to look like the money you make based upon a deal you made or a transaction that took place once. You may have to service that deal now and again, but for the most part, the work is done. Residual income is a form of passive income. So why do I say that you have to service it sometimes? Because some people look at residual income and they're like, okay, I do it once and I'll never have to touch it again. That could be the case. But I'm in Legal Shield. I'm in network marketing. And part of what Legal Shield does is they offer a legal plan that pays residual income. Well, guess what? I still have to service my clients. So yeah, I sell that product once, but if that client calls me 3 months later and I have a legal issue and I'm helping them through their legal issue or putting them on the phone with their attorney and all those kind of things, then I'm servicing that client. If that client decides they're not going to make a payment because they forgot about it or they changed their bank information or they had an issue with the company or an issue with me or an issue with the law firm, I now have to do some damage control and try to keep them on the books. That's servicing. That's still servicing. If I have a group account where I do an employee benefit and I use Legal Shield services in that employee benefit, well, guess what? I have to go service those accounts every year. I have to go by those accounts and make sure those employees are good. So even though it's residual income, I'm still servicing that account. So understand that there's still some work that has to be done, but it's not the typical grind every day, all day work that you have to do when you get that residual income. So insurance agents, insurance products, Legal Shield products, and of course, there's many other things that fall under the line of residual income. And if you're thinking, well, what about music and what about all those things? I'm going to touch that when it comes to royalty, because I consider that to be royalty income. So tip, reselling is not considered residual income. Reselling is not considered residual income. So don't think for 1 minute that when you're selling somebody something when it runs out. So let's take a Mary Kay rep, right? And I'm not talking about Mary Kay in a negative fashion. It's just I'm using their business model, which is a factual business model. If a Mary Kay rep lives next door to me and they sell me products, if I move and I find another Mary Kay rep to buy my products from, then I'm no longer their customer. So they only can resell me as long as they can get to me. That's not residual income. If they have to sell it to me every time it runs out, then that's not residual. Residual is a subscription-based business model, meaning that that person buys something from you and it comes out of their account monthly. And see, me, I don't get myself involved in anything that's not subscription-based. Even personal businesses. So I've completely shifted the things that I involve myself in as an entrepreneur. I don't get involved in anything unless the client that's purchasing is purchasing on a monthly basis. Because that is the new way. And when I say new, I don't mean like last week new. I don't mean like since coronavirus new. I mean like over the last probably 10 years. Transaction-based businesses always do better. Look at Netflix. Look at Amazon, right? So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. A transaction versus subscription-based business. A subscription-based business would be Netflix, meaning that Netflix says you pay $8.95, and now I know it's gone up to about $14 or whatever. I don't even know what it is. It comes out of my account, but so much stuff comes out of my account, I don't know what's what at this point. I know it just went up here lately, and I know Netflix is probably 14 or 15 bucks, and if it goes up again, I'm gonna still keep it because I use it enough, and I got 4 people on my account using it, although I don't know who them people are on my Netflix account. So if that's you, get off my account. But I got a bunch of people on my Netflix account, and they all using it. It still only costs me about 15 bucks a month. So I can watch Netflix anywhere in the world. I could be watching Netflix, and I'm paying them monthly. So here's the catch. The reason why businesses like that do better is because traditionally businesses have their ebbs and flows, which means that they're gonna go up and down depending on the time of year. It could be a seasonal business. It could be all kinds of things that make the business go up and down, up and down, up and down. What happens when you have a subscription-based business is you're constantly billing people even if they're not using the service. So your income is not disappearing. It's constantly growing and growing. So going back to Netflix came into business and really they were disrupting the movie rental business. That's what they were going to interrupt. And they were going to do that by, hey, Redbox, Blockbuster, and anybody else that was out at that time, we're going to put it in a position where people don't have to order and wait for it to come in the mail or go to a red box or return it or get charged a late fee. All the different negative things that went along with renting DVDs or Blu-ray discs, they solved by saying, no, this is live stream. You don't have to carry anything around. You don't have to have anything but an internet connection and a device to watch it on, even if it's something as small as a cell phone. And you can watch movies. So now that they're billing us monthly, instead of them just taking over the movie rental business, guys, what did they take over? Somebody put it in the chat box. What did they take over? Let me see some answers in that chat box. They started by taking over the movie rental industry, but they made so much money because they were subscription based. What else did they end up disrupting? Somebody put it in the chat, or some people put it in the chat. Ooh, y'all moving slow tonight. Y'all got y'all brain caps on tonight. Come on. What else did they disrupt? Going once. Going twice. Yep, theaters. Yep, good answer. Theaters. Guys, they disrupted Hollywood. They disrupted Hollywood, guys. This is how big having a subscription-based business can make you. They came in an industry to make money and pretty much steal business from people in the industry of movie rentals. They made so much money that they took over basically Hollywood. What do I mean by that? They took A-list actors and actors who were no longer even making movies or doing stand-ups or whatever part of the movie industry they were in, and they started hiring them to make movies that were only on Netflix. So what does that mean? That means that Byron Brown cannot go to the movie theater and see this new movie that came out on Netflix because it's not in the movie theater. That means that Rosie can't look at that new stand-up that just came out by Kevin Hart or by Martin Lawrence or by whoever, D.L. Hughley or whoever you listen to, whatever comedian that you listen to, because it's not in the movie theater. So the movie theater is not getting that money. They're paying the actors that Hollywood normally pays to make movies for them, and they're only airing them on Netflix. Now, as if they weren't already doing good enough, the epidemic hit, and now the movie theaters aren't getting any money because nobody could go to the movies, and then people bought more into Netflix because they had to stay home. So they disrupted the industry, made billions of dollars, took over Hollywood, took over the movie theaters, and then an epidemic hit and pushed them even further down the line. Same thing with Amazon. I'm not gonna give you a long story on Amazon, but just understand this. Amazon at one point wasn't subscription-based, and then they came out with Amazon Prime. They took over to a point to where they made Walmart, guys, the number one retailer in the world. They made Walmart's income statement take a hit. Why? Because they were subscription-based, because they created Amazon Prime. So understand that a subscription-based business model is always going to be the best business model for you to make the most money you can, because the money is coming in and coming in and coming in. And we're going to talk about some more different things like that. I'm going to go into some examples, so I'm not just giving you an industry, but not giving you examples on how that can work for you. So let's look at dividend income, which is going to be pretty quick, pretty easy. Money you make based upon an investment you may have in the stock market or in some form of a financial instrument. So some stocks give a dividend monthly. So if you're invested in a stock and it gives a monthly dividend, then that's a form of income that you can take advantage of when you're looking at your different streams of income, if you're interested in going into the stock buying industry or that stream. So you got rental income as well, which is the money you make based upon investment real estate, whether you have a traditional tenant or you're working through travel and accommodation sites such as Airbnb. So let me give you an income example. I'm sorry about that. So I'm gonna give you an income example of a property. So your mortgage, insurance, and property taxes equal about $1,200 a month. and your tenant is paying you $1,500 a month. Your rental income is $300, considering no other expenses rear their ugly head. So we know that in the world of property, it can be a lot of expenses that pop up. That's why having a tip section, rental income can be it can be risky as it comes to common repairs that can haunt home ownership. Anybody have any experience with rental properties that know of a scenario that may have happened to them where they were supposed to be getting rental income but ended up being in a hole because an issue took place? Happens all the time. Happens all the time. I had a property where, again, I'm renting it out to somebody, and then I had a major plumbing issue. And when the major plumbing issue happened, guess what happened? I had to come out of pocket, and it was way more than what I was making in profit. So I believe I saw Linda Harris, which I know has property, raise her hand. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Linda, if you have something you want to mention. She'll be able to unmute yourself. Let me see where you at.
Oh, okay. Hi.
There you go. There you go, Linda. There you go.
You're doing a phenomenal job. But yes, the COVID-19 tenants did not pay since February. It's now mid-June. So they decided to move in squatters, a lot of undesirables in the property, and has destroyed it. So now I'm losing. What do you suggest that I do?
So you had some property owners. You had some properties. COVID-19 hit, and then they put in squatters. Now you got squatters in there, and they kind of messed up your property, and you're not being paid.
Exactly, since February.
And the properties that you have, are they in areas where they're still not letting you file evictions yet in those areas?
Exactly. Evictions are closed until the end of July.
So if your evictions are closing to the end of July, really, sad to say, it's not a whole bunch legally you can do. Now, you can call me offline. I can tell you some other stuff you can do because I used to own property. So it's some offline stuff you can do, and I won't say that on this training. But I promise you, if you call me, and I talked to you earlier today, I know about some other things, but you can call me offline, and I will tell you some things that I did when I had some issues like that. Obviously, it wasn't COVID-19, but I've had some squatters in my properties before I sold them off. And there are some intricate techniques that you can use when people are in your property that shouldn't be, that I will not say publicly on a live video, but I will talk to you about that offline. But legally, until those evictions open up through the city or whatever county you in, it's not a whole bunch you can do about that right now. So unfortunately, that's kind of the situation, because we're in a circumstance that's not a normal circumstance, and we know that crooked people or people that are not law-abiding are going to take advantage of this situation every way they can. So again, call me offline. I'll tell you some different things you can do. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, so good stuff. So that will be an example, and that's good. That's a good example too, Linda. That's a good example of where, again, that's an income stream, but rental properties are can be a bit difficult to deal with sometimes, to say the least. So I'm just telling you, if you're getting into new streams of income, I would tell you a rental property, unless you have experience in dealing with rental properties, or you're going to hire a property management company to do everything for you, I would tell you rental income wouldn't be my first example of something that you could do. And we're going to talk about that as well here, some things that you can do. Again, I'm not going to just tell you about the industries. I'm going to tell you about some different things that you can do as well. So capital gains income, your capital gains income is going to basically be the money you make based upon the sale of an asset, such as real estate, stocks, and bonds, or some other asset that may appreciate in value. Let your home, your home appreciates in value, and you sell it at the appreciated value. Remember, whether it's a stock, bond, or a piece of real estate, there is no capital gain until you sell it. So understand, you don't have capital gains when your property is worth you know, $300,000 and you only owe $200,000 on it. You got $100,000 in equity, but until you sell that house or until you take a loan, a HELOC it or something like that, and HELOC would be home equity line of credit, you're really not taking any gains off of that property. You're not gaining off of it. It's just sitting there. Same thing with a stock. Stock goes up. You pay $13 for it. It's at $100 now. Until you sell that stock, you haven't taken those capital gains. And just a quick tip for you guys: a lot of wealthy people do this. They do 1031 exchanges, and I'm not going to get into the intricacies of what that is because I'm not a tax preparer or an accountant or any of those things. I know how to do these things because I've been involved in them, but I'm not going to train on that. But just so you know, have an idea what it is, a lot of wealthy people, they will sell a property. So I'll give you an example. I have a property I bought at $200,000. It's now worth $350,000. So I basically got $150,000 in equity in that property. I find another house that I want to buy and move into. It's a bigger house, and that house costs maybe $500,000. I can sell my house with the $150,000 in equity in it, the capital gains of $150,000. I can buy that house, sell that house, and then buy the new house using that $150,000 profit, and I won't have to pay taxes on $150,000. So you avoid paying taxes on that capital gains by buying another home, which is what a 1031 exchange is. So you avoid the capital gains taxes. But if you're looking at doing something like that, if you're in a situation where you've got a property, you've got some income in it, and you're looking to buy another house, talk to your accountant about that, and they'll tell you exactly how you can do that, and how you can make the best out of it so that you don't do something wrong and mess it up. But you want to be able to avoid those taxes and put that money back into another piece of property that you plan on living in, paying down, or whatever you're gonna do with it. So capital gains income, I'm sorry, hold on, I messed something up there. All right, so the last stream of income I'm gonna discuss is going to be royalty income. So royalty income is going to be, I make music, or I have a sitcom that I made. So let's take the Jamie Foxx show, or Friends, or the Martin Lawrence show, or just any long-standing show that still gets airtime and still plays on networks. Those are going to be royalties. They made those episodes, they made those movies, and once they made those movies or those TV shows, if different stations want to play those television shows, they have to pay a royalty. And they do the same thing in the music industry. They do the same thing when a company says, I'm gonna make a commercial and I'm gonna use a song that Michael Jackson made, or I'm gonna use a song that U2 made, and I'm gonna put that in my commercial. Well, they have to pay a royalty for that. So that's another set of income. If you create some kind of intellectual property or anything like that, you get royalties on those things as well. So those are 8 streams of income, guys. I hope that was helpful. But let's look at how much income per day you're looking at wanting to make, because now, again, we got to start looking at how we're going to be calculating our income and how we want to make our income move. So let's look at something real quick. I am going to pull up chart here. Hit the chat. If y'all can see that, let me know. Good. All right, y'all guys can see it. All right, so this is a streams of income chart. And again, guys, you cannot track, increase or decrease what you do not track. So what I would tell you all is very important. If you want to start creating streams of income, you got to start setting your mind for it. So this is a streams of income chart, something I have a real one that I use. This is just one I threw together for an example for you guys so you can see how to do one. And you can use Google Sheets, or you can use Excel, whatever kind of Excel type chart that you use, whatever system you have, right? So you see what it says for number 1, 9 to 5. So let's say I got a job and I'm in collections. I'm in the collections industry. That's my job. That's streaming income. That's my earned income. So I put how much I make in a month in that. So in that next box, I will put, this is how much I make a month with my 9 to 5. So let's say that here, now the next one, it says Legal Shield. I'm in network marketing. I'm in Legal Shield. Leveraged income. So let me show you something on how you can literally have more than one stream of income and be doing a specific thing. So network marketing's got several different companies. I mean, they've got, I don't know, thousands of network marketing companies in the industry. I've been with Legal Shield for 9 years. And what I realized about Legal Shield years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, is that you can have several streams of income within Legal Shield. So I have leveraged income because I have built the team. So that's somewhat passive income. It's not totally passive because I have to work with my organization and train them and do calls with them. Now I don't do a call with them anymore because I'm part of an organization that has a bigger call and I just plug them into that call. But there's times that I have done calls with my team. And whoever that is writing on my board, you better quit writing on my board. Don't make me cut this annotate off. Let me write on my screen. I told y'all about that a couple of weeks ago. All right, so oh, that was you, Barbara. All right, so on the leveraged income side, I've got that, which is considered a form of passive income because I have money that comes in from my team, from overrides, and because I have an organization, but I'm not necessarily making that sale. Yes or yes? You guys understand that? Just put yes in the chat box, right? If you have some kind of form, and tell me how many forms of streams of income that you have. So you don't have to tell us what they are. I know you want everybody in your business, but if you've got more than one stream of income, just put it up there. Put 3, put 2, put 1. Because sometimes we don't even realize that we've got more than one stream of income. Some of you guys have a 9 to 5, and you're in some network marketing company, or you got some business partnership going on the side. You got a job, and you own a truck, and you're in transportation, so you're hauling loads, and you have a 9 to 5, and you've got some stocks, some investments in the stock market. So you've got 2 or 3 different streams of income, guys. So you got to recognize that and start building upon it so that you can build wealth. So the next one you see is Legal Shield again, but it says direct sales. So what is direct sales? Earned income for me, guys. Earned income for me. So guess what I do? I have a company called Living Legacy Benefits Group and another company called Oceanside Benefits. Those are my benefits companies. I own 2 benefits companies and I offer Legal Shield and ID Shield as a product through those companies. So every year from like maybe mid-August until maybe mid-November, I'm doing open enrollment. I'm in companies all day long, talking to employees, sitting in presentations, sitting in open enrollment, doing all these kinds of things. Sometimes it's electronic enrollment, sometimes it's physical enrollments, right? But I'm out there doing those things myself. I have to be out there doing that myself. So that's a form of earned income, but it's in a form of direct sales. If that makes sense, because I'm directly selling a product and I'm making the money on a product. Why is that not considered profit income? Why is that not considered profit income? Because I'm not buying a product and then selling it. I'm selling paper. You guys got that? So an insurance agent sells paper. A real estate agent is not buying the property and then selling it. They're selling somebody's property and getting a commission. When I sell a Legal or ID Shield product, I'm not buying it from Legal Shield and then selling it to my customer. I'm selling them the product directly from Legal Shield, and I'm getting a commission to do it, direct sales. But that's a form of, it says residual on that box because you can make residual on it, but it's a form of earned income because I'm literally going out and doing it. Why I have residual in parentheses? Because when I sell that product and it stays on the books after 15 months, Legal Shield pays me residual income on that membership, even though I've only sold it once. So in Legal Shield, I get bonus money, training money, which is a form of income. I get residual income, which is a form of income. I'm making earned income through Legal Shield because I'm out there selling it myself. And I also get passive income because I have a leverage of network marketing as well. You guys follow that? Yes or yes? So several streams of income in one industry there. Then I have my training company, Training by Dunbar, which is transaction and subscription based. Why is it transaction and subscription based? Because I've got some clients that pay me to coach them, and they're not on a subscription with me. They pay me to coach them. They may pay for specific sessions, or it may be a one-time thing. Or a company may call me and say, hey, look, we need you to do a leadership training for our company. And I go in and they pay me one time to do it. That's a transaction-based deal. But I also have subscription-based situations where I have a mastermind group that I do, and people pay to be a part of my mastermind group. I also have a subscription-based setup where I'm in the process of now creating online courses, and those online courses, people are going to buy those courses, and I'm not going to have to do anything. They just buy them and they use them to grow in whatever area they're looking to grow based on the course that they bought. Some of them will be on health, some of them are going to be on wellness, some of them are going to be on entrepreneurship. So that's a form of subscription based through my training company. I'm also in the process of finishing up a book. I'm also about to co-author another book. Well, the book that I'm writing, not the book I'm co-authoring, but the book that I'm actually writing that I'm about to finish, that's the first book in a series of books that I'm writing, which is becoming an entrepreneur in the network marketing industry. The next one is going to be becoming an entrepreneur in the fitness industry, becoming an entrepreneur in the insurance industry, becoming an entrepreneur in the real estate industry. So it's going to be a series of books, plus I'm co-authoring a book. That is going to be a form of direct sales when I sell the book, but then it's going to turn into residual and passive income when people are just buying the book because it's being sold on Amazon, it's being sold on different platforms. Yes, yes? I also used to invest in real estate. I don't anymore. I've now stopped doing that. Every now and then I'll do a deal with somebody that I know that may have a deal that'll pull up, and so occasionally I'll do something in real estate, but I don't deal with real estate on a day-to-day basis at all. I got a good friend of mine that's a realtor, and when she finds a good deal, she may call me and say, hey, I got this deal, let's do this, let's do that. I do my part, she does her part, and we both make money on it. That'll be a real estate deal. I do not buy any property and rent it. I don't do that at all right now. And I'm not interested in doing it. It's just not something, even with Airbnb, I'm not interested in doing it. I dib and dab in the stock market a little bit. So that's passive income as well. And then I do YouTube AdSense. So I have a YouTube channel, and I'm growing that so that I can create a few $1,000s a month in AdSense. I'm nowhere near that right now, but over time, I want to be able to make somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 a month on YouTube just in AdSense, because I'm making money based on the videos that I upload in the following that I have on YouTube. That's why y'all need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Was that bad that I just did that plug that I just did? So just giving you guys some examples, right, of different incomes. So let's look at some different things. Let me drop this screen here. And I'll show you guys this example. I'll send this stream of income chart. I'll send this along with the slideshow, so don't worry about this. That way you'll have something to look at. When I send it to you, you'll have an idea of how you can kind of do your own. So let me open this up real quick. So let's look at some different things. Digital marketing. So I got a couple of forms of income on my little, I'll keep my stuff on my little handy dandy yellow chart paper. We're going to be closing out here, guys, momentarily. So I know you guys have been on for an hour. So you got your earned income, and you got your profit income, and you got your interest income. But let me tell you just some different things that you can do so that you got your 9 to 5, and especially some of y'all that's in network marketing and all that kind of stuff. I want you guys to pay attention that there's a lot of things online that you can do, just a lot of things. And I want you guys to focus on doing something that will be a low level entry fee to get into, and something that you enjoy doing. I'm a big person in believing in working with your passion. If you don't like to do things online, then don't get into an online business. If you're saying, look, I hate recruiting, then don't get into network marketing. If you hate recruiting, right? If you hate sales, don't get into anything direct sales. I mean, that's just like kind of common sense stuff. Don't get into anything that you don't want to do if you know you're going to hate that industry, because you cannot run a business in a good spirit and get the most out of it if you don't like doing what you do. So advertising and marketing and being online and using social media and social media platforms and all that kind of stuff, I do those things on a regular basis. So I always enroll everything I do together so that I can make the most out of it. I like to write. I like to train. So writing a book and being a trainer, those are all things that I do to make money, but I enjoy doing them. So that's what I do. I'm creating online courses. Those are things that you can do, guys. You can do things like, you can promote. So if you're a person that say, look, I like to do I'm an assistant. I like to do virtual assistant stuff. So let me tell you how you can be a virtual assistant and make money doing that, but how you can make other money. Set yourself up to do social media for people. Take some social media classes, learn the ins and outs of social media, learn all the social media hacks, and find some of these small business owners that work from home that need to have a social media presence, and start doing it for them. Going in there and doing this stuff for them and having them paid. That's a way for you to create a stream of income for yourself. Now, is it earned income? Yes, it's a form of earned income. It is. But it's a second set of income that you can do outside of your regular 9 to 5, whatever you do. Again, you want to start looking at building up some streams of income, and start by trying to make just like $1,000 a month doing that stream of income. You don't have to like go crazy with it. So if you can get you a couple of customers that's paying you, if you get somebody say, I'm paying you $250 a month to do my social media. Well, once you got 4 customers, you got $1,000 a month coming in from doing that, because guess what? You like to do it to assist people anyway. So if you like to do that anyway, then you can do it that way. You can also do affiliate marketing links, which means that when you're doing promotions and things online, all the different things that you're using, you can go to those companies or email them or whatever. And most of them have that stuff set up on their website anyway, so you don't even have to contact them. And you can get people to use their products, and they give you an affiliate link. And when they use your link to use those products, you get paid. You only get paid a couple of dollars, guys. But when you got a bunch of people doing it and it builds up, it's income coming in and you're not doing anything. These are people going online to buy stuff. And when they go online to buy stuff, you make money. Even if it's $1, even if it's $2. If it's 200 people doing it, that's $400. You guys follow that? So if it's $400 that you're making a month and you're not doing anything, come on, guys. It's people over here having a fit about a $1,200 stimulus check that they only gonna get once. So why would you not put yourself in a position to make $400 a month doing something simple like an affiliate link? And now you're literally making $4,800 a year. That's almost $5,000. So if your job is paying you $50,000, now you have $55,000. If you make $1,000 a month doing people's social media, now that's another $12,000 on top of your $55,000. Now you're at $65,000, $67,000 a month. Guys, you can get yourself to a 6-figure income doing just little things that give you extra. Because if you do something to make an extra $1,000 a month, guys, that's 12 grand for the year. Do you guys realize that? That's 10 times more than a stimulus check you're talking about. 10 times more. By just adding an extra $1,000 a month to your income by doing these little things that you can do online. Small things that you can do to add extra income. If you've got some money that you've got put to the side, start looking at things like some of the companies that you can go through to buy stocks. I'm not gonna name any of the companies because this is gonna be recorded and edited, and that'll be a mess. So I'm not going to tell you the good companies and the bad companies. You can talk to me offline about that stuff. But there's some good companies that you can buy stock through, and there's some bad ones. So start looking at doing that, guys. You got to start taking advantage of your future. There's some no-brainer stock picks out there, guys. Like, you don't even have to be like a Jen. You don't have to go to school to make money in the stock market. You can go online and take online courses that cost like $170, $180, $200. Spend $200, take a stock buying class. This is real stuff, guys. And then start looking at the stock market and purchasing some stocks at lower prices. Like, people making a ton of money with this COVID-19 happened. A lot of stocks dropped that we know are going back up. When Apple went down, we know it's going back up. Amazon went down, we know it's going back up. There's some stocks that you know are going to go back up. And people made a killing on those stocks when they drop, because we know that those are rock solid companies that's going to go back up. We're missing opportunities to make 10, 15, 20, 30, $40,000 in 30 days doing nothing, guys. You guys got emergency funds for $7,500 set up in the bank account, just making no interest. You got $7,500 sitting in the bank in case something happens. You got that money sitting there, and the bank loaning your money out, making more money on it than you make. For an emergency that's going to happen to you, maybe never. And if it does happen, you got the money there. You can be investing some of that money a little bit at a time and putting it back. Guys, there's so many different things that you can be doing to create income, especially if you're a person that you're willing to go online and do stuff online. There's all kind of courses that you can take. Like you can go to YouTube and say, hey, put in streams of income on YouTube. And it'll pull up videos. And the videos will not only give you streams of income, they will tell you the things that you can do. And then the classes that you can take to learn how to do this stuff to make the income. You could be an influencer. If you're a person that you all about fashion, like I got a guy I listen to on YouTube, he's just a fashion, like the guy's a fashion guru. He drops a video every day. You guys are missing the opportunity in this day and age that when you're good at something and you're passionate about it, you can do it for other people. Online courses, guys, that's a no-brainer. Go to Teachable, take the course on how to use Teachable, then pay for somebody's course that show you how to do courses correctly so that you can make money. Easy money, guys, right? But I mean easy money, I don't mean it's easy to set up. I mean, it's easy money in the long run. Let me show you what I mean by it. I'm gonna break this down. If you have a specific knowledge base in something, you can go to Teachable and get on their platform for free. They got a free platform and then one that you pay for. Get on the free platform. Go take some free courses on Teachable. And then you can literally take a paid for class that might cost you anywhere between maybe $179 and $400. And it'll be a master course to show you how to directly set your courses up and market them so that you can make money. You can put the course together based on whatever you do. I mean, you can hire professionals to help you make the class if you need to do it. Whatever you need to do, guys. We can grow. We can come up with a couple of dollars. I ain't talking about $10,000. I'm talking about $1,000, $1,300, $1,400, or do it yourself and don't pay nothing but a couple $100, right? Put the courses on Teachable that you're creating and charge $279 a course. Do you realize that when 10 people buy that course, you just made $279 times 10? You made the course one time. E-learning is the wave of the future, guys. So when you have a course on something like Teachable for $279 and 10 people buy it, well, guess what? You can now create a membership site and say, well, you want to be a part of my website for $19 a month. And I keep on updating my website and put new information, continuing education. Now what happens when you got 150 people paying $20 a month to be a part of your membership site? That's 150 times 20 a month, guys. You can get yourself to $10, $20, $30,000 a month and be a regular person all day long. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a super entrepreneur, guys. We talking about from home. We talking about no employees. You may be hiring an assistant to work from their house to help you with complaints and refunds and things of that nature. You guys follow me on this? So I'm telling you guys, this is real simple stuff. It's real simple stuff, guys, to get better at what we do. But you got to understand first what the streams of income are and how you can utilize them and figure out where you're going to be best, what's going to be the best use of your time. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead here and close out. Of course, I'm going to take some questions here, but let me do something real quick before I close out.